Hello folks, so this is just a quick little explainer video kind of going over the assignment for Project 1, which is your annotated bibliography. If you want to pull up the assignment sheet or something and kind of look over that while I'm talking, that might be helpful, or like look at these in conjunction, but I know that some people are like auditory learners and some are reading learners, so I have got lots of options for you to get that information. So, your first assignment will not be due until October 5th. Do not panic. It is due October 5th. It is due October 5th. It is due October 5th at 11:59 p.m. Don't panic. When you do turn in this assignment, please turn it in as a Word doc or a .docx file. With your last name saved in the file name, even if you're not writing in Microsoft Word, which, by the way, you get Microsoft Word for free from LSU through, I think it's called Tigerware, so look that up if you need it. But if you're using Google Docs or Pages or something else, there should be an option to save it as a .docx file. Makes it so much easier for me to open it and leave feedback and stuff. So please, all of your assignments this semester, Word documents. So we'll be working on research for this assignment over the coming weeks. It's going to be the beginnings of Project 2, which is like your major paper for the semester, which is going to be an issue analysis. So the idea of an issue analysis is to break out of the binary when thinking about a issue. So you won't be making an argument for one side of the other, rather you will be considering an issue and evaluating the evidence from all sides. The issue analysis is not an argument. It's not an argument. So that does mean a couple things about how you do your research. It means that you will need to be looking for research from several perspectives on your issue. So if your issue was students should be in schools during the pandemic, you would need to look at several different stances. There's the stance that parents need somewhere for their kids to go during the day so that they can go to work, especially if they're essential workers. There's also the stance that kids, especially little kids, are sometimes slimy and gross, right? And all of those kind of in-between things. So the issue analysis is looking at a complicated issue and trying to get a grip on all of the perspectives. So with the schools issue, for example, you would need to probably focus that down a little bit. So you would need to specify whether you're talking about elementary school kids or college students, because those are different arguments, right? This also means, as you're choosing a topic and thinking about what kind of topic you want to write about, you gotta pick something that can be debated. And something that can be debated with evidence, and not something that's going to be based on a moral dispute or a religious dispute. So the argument that abortion should be illegal is difficult because you get into these moral issues, right? You get into this ethical religious stuff. And it's hard to have that kind of argument, right? So I recommend checking out the Choosing an Interesting Topic handout on Moodle under week 3. I've got that there for you. It'll have a bunch of stuff on there, things you can think about, scope, as far as an idea being too narrow or too broad, and focus and that kind of thing. Also some topics that you might want to avoid that are difficult to kind of have a conversation about, that are difficult to have an argument about. So, back to this assignment. For the annotated bibliography, it's a research document, right? The idea is that as you are researching, you keep track of your sources, with their citations, and a little bit of notes about the source. That's kind of the thought behind it. I use annotated bibliographies in my own research in grad school all the time. Not this formal, but you gotta turn it in, so I've gotta be able to understand it. So, it should have a few components. It should attempt MLA formatting and citation styles. The Purdue OWL MLA style guide is on Moodle. It's for free on the internet. Just look at it. That means 1-inch margins, Times New Roman, your last name, and a page number in the top of every page. Top right of every page. Feel free to use auto-generated citations. The library will generate citations for you. There are also websites that do that, but please, please, please double check them against the style guide. Make sure all the information is right. Make sure that not all of your author's names are in caps lock, or that it hasn't listed the publisher, where the title should go. Those kinds of things, that matters, and it just looks sloppy. Check it. It's super easy. Okay, so that's thing 1, MLA formatting. Thing 2, you should have a brief 100-ish word explanation of your topic, so that I know what I'm looking at. So what it is, why you're interested in it. You can address it as a note to me if you like. And that'll be at the beginning of your annotated bibliography. Then you're going to go to the next page, and you're going to start your annotations and your citations. So each source will need your MLA style citation, and then underneath it, your annotation. So that'll be 3 to 5 sentences. You're going to need 5 sources. So each annotation will be 75 to 100 words. This whole assignment should be around 500 words, not including the citations themselves. Since we want you to focus on getting into scholarly research and learning how to evaluate those kinds of sources, I do encourage at least 2 of your 5 sources to be from academic scholarly sources of the type that you would find on the library databases. And yes, we're going to talk a lot more about using those library databases, don't you worry. Some topics are going to lend themselves to more current sources. If you can't find academic sources for your topics, because research takes time and publication takes time, for example, if you're writing about education and the coronavirus, right? That's too new. So reach out to me if you're not finding academic sources. All of your sources, regardless of whether they are academic or not, do need to be reputable and reliable. So check that out. Keep in mind your navigating digital information that we've been watching, and also keep in mind there's a source evaluation guide on Moodle. It's called the CRAP Source Evaluation Guide. It's also on week 3 of Moodle. Check that out. It should help you out. We'll talk more about this in the coming weeks, of course. So, your 3 things that you need. MLA formatting. An explanation of your topic, so I know what I'm looking at. And 5 annotated sources. That's it. 3 things. So each of those annotations is going to be 3 to 5 sentences probably. Think of it at least 1 sentence each for positioning the texts. So who's the author, what perspective might they be coming from, what are their biases, if any, does the website or the publication have any kind of biases that you know about, those kinds of questions. Is the information current? Is it some background? That kind of stuff. Then you're going to summarize the text. So You don't need to give me a full summary. In fact, please don't, because that would probably take more than 100 words per source, right? So, what are the main ideas? Specifically, what are the main ideas that are like relevant to what you are thinking about writing about? What's the author's point? What conclusions do they come to? Then you're going to evaluate the text as a source. What'd you learn from the article? Did it alter your viewpoint? Do you think it'll be useful in your project? If you don't think it'll be useful in your project, you can still include it on your annotated bibliography. This happens to me all the time. You did the research, take the credit. Just say that in your annotation. Like, I have evaluated this source and I do not think that it will be useful for whatever reason. That's fine. You did it. Also, for this assignment, just so that I can talk to each one of you kind of one-on-one, get to know you a little bit, and hear from you about your topics in the issue that you're thinking about working on for your issue analysis. You will be required to attend a really brief one-on-one virtual conference with me, either via Zoom, or we can set up a phone situation if you need to. And this will be to discuss your topic and to answer any questions or concerns that you might have. This should only take 10 to 15 minutes a person, and I've set aside a lot of different times, kind of all over the place on Thursday and Friday, September 17th and 18th. If those times don't work for you, they're already listed in a Google Sheet on the Moodle. If none of those times work for you, just email me, and we can set something else up. I can be super flexible with this, guys. I will ask, please sign up for a time slot, or contact me to set up an alternative appointment by midnight on the 16th, just so that I kind of know what I'm doing for the next couple days. Also, just a couple other little things, kind of courtesy things. If someone has already signed up for a time slot that you want on the Google Sheet, don't remove their name. Don't be a jerk. That's a jerk thing to do. It's disrespectful to me, it's disrespectful to your classmates, and it will impact your grade. There are very few ways to not get a good grade on the conference assignment, but doing that is one of them. Period. In general, if you sign up for a conference, if you show up, and if you've put some thought and preparation into what you want to talk to me about, meaning you have an idea of what your topic might be for your annotated bibliography, and if you have any specific questions, you've thought about those ahead of time so that you can ask me, that's it. It's just a free 10% of your annotated bibliography grade. So please sign up in one time slot. It's on Moodle under Project 1 conference signups, I think under week 4. So yeah, your time and mine is valuable. Show up on time. Be prepared to talk to me. I do understand that we're living in a pandemic, and things happen. It's fine. Shoot me an email. We'll make something work. Don't panic. Just also don't, leave me hanging, you know? Okay, so the final points breakdown. It's going to be 150 points, 15% of your final grade. So the conference is worth 15 points. The MLA formatting attempt, 15 points. The personal explanation of your topic, 20 points. And your citations and annotations are 100 points. So that's 20 points for each source, right? The assignment sheet with all of this is already on Moodle. I know that this is a lot. I just wanted to give you guys several options for this kind of overview of the assignment. And as always, if you've got any questions, concerns, comments, things that I can make better, things that I have put on Moodle wrong, please let me know. I'm still trying to figure this out, and I want to make this work for y'all. Okay, so the assignment sheet's already on Moodle, lots of resources already on Moodle. If you have any questions, let me know. Take care. Thanks. Bye.